Hello and welcome to episode 17. We're finally above the $5,000 mark, so we're mixing in a lot more 2-5 from here on out. Unfortunately, this is a Monday night. There is no 2-5 running. It's a very slow table, probably the worst table dynamics I've played at since the beginning of the vlog. But we're here to put in a couple hours and then go get some groceries or something. So in this first hand, LoJack has raised to $20. I played with this person a lot. He uses very large open sizings with his entire range. And he plays a range quite similar to mine, like something like 7-6 suited plus. So I'm going to play 3-better fold versus this player. So he raised it $20. We got King Jack suited. Definitely good enough to raise. I make it 60. Button overcalls. And I haven't played with this guy before, but he seems decent. He thought for quite a while before he overcalled. And LoJack does make the fold. So off to a flop. Going to play pretty cautiously. Jack 8-5 with 2 spades, so pretty good flop, but I don't think our hand is strong enough versus a cold call range to start betting here. So I'm going to check it over to him, see what he does. And he checks it back, so off to a turn, which is amazing. And offsuit king. We are going to start betting here. We want to get stacks in. His range is probably going to consist of a lot of ace-king here and maybe some trapped aces with a spade. But I think mostly ace-king here, judging from the fact that he didn't bet flop. So we're going to size way up here, $90. And he pretty quickly makes the call. So off to a river. We're just hoping to not see an ace, really. 3 of spades. I don't expect him to have a flush too often here, although ace-king of spades is possible. Maybe ace-queen of spades, but I think he bets that on the flop. I don't think he's cold calling ace-jack suited here. So I think his range is just like the 16... minus whatever the king, so 12 combos of ace king and then the 1 combo of ace queen suited. So we are ahead of a lot of those, so we're gonna jam for value. He does the are you all in? I call, like and he does show in fact one of the 2 combos that beat us, the ace king of spades. Still a good bet, I think. We're like, sometimes you are going to thin value bet and they're going to show a better hand, but that does not mean that your bet was wrong. And I think that this is one of those cases. So pretty happy with how I played that hand. Unfortunately, we're getting stacked on our first hand. In this next hand, we have Queen Jack suited facing a limp. Definitely going to raise this up to $15. Folds round to the big blind who makes the call, and so does the limper. So 3 ways to a pretty good flop. 9-5-4 with 2 hearts. Checks over to me. We're going to start with a small bet here, $15, and they both call. So off to a turn, which is the 4 of spades. Shouldn't change much. Checks to under the gun, who now leads for $30. This feels like a weak top pair to me, trying to set his price, or maybe a turned like 5-6 of spades, just wanting to get to the river cheap. So I'm going to raise it up here, expecting to get quite a few folds. I make it 110. Big blind folds and under the gun snap calls. So I am very concerned here. And I am expecting him to lead any river 100% here. And I don't even think if we make our flush, we're good. Like, I'm expecting the card to come down. He's not going to look at it. He's going to shove all in. So off to a river. I don't know what we're hoping for. It's a 5 of diamonds. I don't care. I'm pretty done with the hand anyways. He does shove all in instantly. We fold and he's nice enough to show us the Jack 4 of clubs. Nice hand, fella. All right, we're into this game now for $1,000, and we get a welcome sight of pocket kings under the gun. I raise it up to $15, and it folds round to the button, who's a short stack, and goes all in for $64. Fold, and nothing to do here but call. I tell the guy, bad timing, sir. Unfortunately, it's bad timing for us as he rolls over the pocket aces. We're going to demolish this session, and it's only been 45 minutes. Alright, we got the pocket 8s here in under the gun +1. Facing a limp, we're going to raise this up to $15, and we get no less than 4 callers. So, 5 ways to a flop, which is amazing. Our luck is changing. 9-8-2 rainbow. Checks to us, and we're going to start with a small bet here, $25. Middle position calls, button calls. Small blind, however, raises this flop to $90. Under the gun folds, and now it's back to us. With this many callers, I really don't want to see a turn. There's just too many straight draws, and I can't just like figure out which one is going to hit someone, right? You got 7-6, you got Jack 10, you got 10-7. It's just a bit too tough, especially with this many callers. But I'm also a little bit worried that he's raising us on such a dry flop. And we've also lost the last 3 hands. Is this pocket nines? But we cannot be scared of pocket nines. I am going to rip it all in. And, you know, unfortunately this is going to fold out his like weird raise to see where I'm at with like ace 9 suited, because he's going to go, oh, you got pocket kings or something. But with this many people in, we can't really risk seeing a turn. So I raise all in, middle position folds, button is obviously calling for $36, and then small blind tanks for quite a bit, and then ends up folding. So we didn't run to pocket nines there. So we got to fade a few cards. I don't know what button has. He says he's got outs, but turns a 5 of clubs, which is not great, and river's not great either. It's a jack of clubs, so the only straight draw they didn't get there is 10 jack. Button announces he hit. Good thing he's just a massive troll, because he has jack 7. I really like playing with this guy. He's a lot of fun. Alright, so we've got king 6 of spades in the big blind. Under the gun is raised to 14. The small blind is called. 90% of the time this is just a fold, but I don't know. I'm feeling like playing a few marginal hands tonight, so we toss in the call and are immediately rewarded with queen 10-4. It's all spades. So we flop a flush. Amazing. We're going to check it over to the raiser, who puts in a bet of $20, about half pot. Small blind makes the call, and we're just going to raise right away. I don't want to go to the turn and then raise. It looks a bit too strong, so I make it $80. Under the gun folds very quickly, and then small blind makes the call. This is a player that had jack 4 before, so off to a turn, which is a 5 of clubs. Nothing really changes, and he, interesting enough, leads again on the turn for $40. I look over at his stack. There's like, it looks like, you know, $50. I don't think he's ever folding, so I just snap shove all in, and to my surprise, he actually does find the fold. So we don't get paid his last $75. All right, looking at a early position raise to 10. We got jack 10 suited. Could 3-bet. Not at these stakes, so I'm going to just call in position. Hijack also calls. So does the cutoff. And so does the small blind and the big blind. So we are 14 ways to a flop of queen jack 8. 2 hearts. We got a gut shot middle pair on a monotone board. We're just going to check this. I do not see us betting into 6 players with this. Hijack does bet $40. Pretty sizable bet here. Like, you know, 2/3 pot into 5 people on monotone board. Folds back to us. And I think that we can continue here with our pair plus gut shot. It's pretty marginal because he bet to 6 people, but we're just going to continue here. And turn is the 4 of hearts. So our hand is now complete garbage and cannot improve. We check it over and he checks it back. So getting some devious ideas in my head now. Off to a river. That is the 3 of clubs. Our hand is hot garbage here. We need to bluff. And does not have to be big on a 4 to a flush board because, you know, our range is, you either have it or you don't. So we can bet very small here. I bet $55 and our opponent has got calling chips. He's counted them out as soon as I bet, which is never a good sign. But decides on a fold and actually folds 10-9 of clubs, which he shows for the flopped straight. Very happy to get that one through. Okay, we got an under the gun raise. I've got queen 9 of clubs in middle position. A little bit loose to be calling, but it's low stakes. I'm pretty sure I can play this somewhat profitably. Folds round to the small blind and big blind, who both make the call. So we're 4 ways to a flop of 10-9-6 with 2 clubs. Checks the original raiser, who checks back, and nothing to do here but just check. So off to a turn, which is the 5 of spades. Doesn't change much. This time big blind bets very small, $10. Under the gun calls, and we're also going to make the call. Small blind does make the call as well. So we're still 4 ways to a river, which is the 4 of diamonds, which changes nothing again. Small blind checks, big blind checks, and now the original raiser bets $25. Like, what can he even have here that wants to bet after this line? I'm not buying this at all. Right? Like, this could be like jack 10 or like a weak jack, but no live players are checking back top pair. So I toss in the call very quickly. Big blind starts tanking, and I'm pretty sure big blind is a pan better than me. I'm not worried about under the gun, but big blind probably I'm worried about. But he does go for the fold, so we're probably good here. But under the gun rolls over, king 10 of clubs for a very well played hand. I got outplayed unbelievably hard here. This is like kudos to my opponent. That was an amazingly played hand. Good job. Okay, we're racking up here, but the person has come back into the small blind to purchase a button, so we get one more free hand. Amazing. Under the gun raises to $11, and we look down and we actually have a playable hand. We got pocket nines. Versus this player, I don't want to raise a hand like nines. He's a little bit tight. So we just go for the call. Folds round to the hijack, who also makes the call, and everyone else folds. So 3 ways to a flop of 7-6-6 with 2 diamonds. Pretty good flop. Even better when the pre-flop raiser checks it. So we're definitely going to start betting for value here. It doesn't have to be big. I make it $10. Hijack calls, who's a reg, and on the gun folds. So off to a turn of the 2 of clubs. Amazing. Going to keep betting for value. Going to size up a little bit. I'm mostly targeting a 7 here, so I don't want to go too big. I bet 30, and he pretty quickly makes a call. So off to a river, which is the ace of clubs. Not my favorite card, but the only cards I can really call down here are suited aces that now make top pair. So I'm not overly worried about this. We do have a diamond in our hand, which makes one more combo of ace 9 suited not possible. And you know I love thin value, so I'm going to go for a very small bet here. I make it 30. And my opponent does a very small raise. $70. We're just never good here. I'm just going to fold this, not think about it. I let it go. Nice hand, and he's nice enough to show... I didn't record it. He shows 6-8 suited, so he flop trips. Nice hand. What a goose of a session. In 45 minutes, we were in for $1,000 in a 1-3 game. We started today with 5-1-3-4. We're going to end off at 4,734-ish. In the game for 1,000, out for 581 for a loss of 419. So we did manage to recover quite a bit there. Happy to do so, and we're going to keep grinding. See you in the next one.